Okay, so good afternoon, everyone. Uh, Today's lecture is going to be mainly about tutorial 2. There are two questions which we go through, and then at the end it will be lecture 3. So it's shorter than the last two lectures. I would say two-thirds of the time will be allocated to tutorial 2. And as I said in lecture 1, today we want tutorial is please start with maybe a question and then asking you to solve a similar question. Okay, so I would say that's a good way of practicing rather than me solving it. So let's start with question 1. It's about odd and even signals. If you remember, towards the end of last week, we talked about these two signals, odd and even signals. And then we said a even signal is symmetrical about y-axis, while the odd signal is symmetrical about the origin or 0. So the other point we talked about was when we were talking about even signals, xt is equal to x minus t, while for odd signals, x minus t is minus xt. So that was another point we talked about odd and even signals. Now, a signal is made of both odd and even parts. But looking at this signal, for example, it's neither symmetrical about y-axis nor the origin, right? So we can say it's made of an odd part and an even part. So if you mix those, you should get to this signal. Now the question asks us to find these two parts of this signal. Now, again, another formula we talked about was okay, for finding even parts, what you do is you add xt by x minus t, and then you divide it by 2. While for the odd part, what you do is xt minus x minus t over 2. So in general, these 3 points always remember being symmetrical, then the definition, terms of mathematics, and then formulas to find odd and even parts. Now, just a reminder from last week, if this is xt, what will be x minus t? Exactly. You flip it to the left. So that will be x minus t, right? Now, another reminder from math. So let's say this point is B, and this line has the slope of m. What's the mathematical representation of this? Let's say
let's say this is t, and this is, I don't know, x.
Everything plus b. That's correct.
So x is equal to mt plus b. So that's the slope. That's value at t equal to 0.
Basic math. Okay.
Now, how can I find m?
Take two coordinates. Sorry? Take two coordinates. Two coordinates. Which one? The one that is the x-axis and one that is the y-axis. Okay, so you mean
Sorry?
yes. So what should I do with those? Exactly. So find 2 points.
Or find a triangle. So get this triangle as an example. That's going to be delta x, that's delta t. And then your m will be delta x over delta t. So if that's your delta x, delta t, that's your m. M is equal to tangent of this angle, theta. So m, or the slope, is equal to tangent of theta, which is equal to delta x over delta t.
Again, if you focus on this, in review math. Let me see what else we need.
That's it. Yes. Okay, now sorry, this one. Okay, let's go to our question. We have a signal. We are supposed to find the, let's say first even part,
Because that's usually easy, the even part.
Now, what I recommend, so we know the even part is xt plus x minus t over 2. What I recommend is forget about that 2.
Do the count, follow the step, at the end, do that division, okay? Or you can do it at the beginning, up to you.
Now, what I'll do is, for now, I think that 2 doesn't exist.
I'll find x minus t, add it to xt, and then at the end divide it
by 2. Now, let's see. It starts from minus 3, goes to 5. So, that's my signal, right? And the value is 1. Okay, if that is my xt, I need to find x minus t, right? What should I do? Flip it. Yep. So let's say I use the same coordinates. So if I flip it, that's minus 5. That's going to be 3, right? And then this will be x minus t, correct?
Is it correct? I heard a no somewhere. Yeah. Sorry? No. Why not? Sorry? Oh no, don't worry about it. Just think about values and the shape. because I'm not accurate in drawing the units. Like, if you consider that 5, that shouldn't be 3, okay? Because I'm not, you know what I mean? But don't worry about that. Just think about number shape. Yes.
Should the shape be flipped about the horizontal axis, like to the minus one? Or no?
Now, that's if that minus sign is behind x. Now, if you have minus x, it flips down. Is this correct or not? Is that correct? Yes, that's correct. Because it flips around by x. So if I have 5 left, that will be 1. Okay, now that's step 1.
Step 2 is adding them, right? xt plus x minus t. So what I'll do is, let me use another color. Okay, this color as an example. Okay, I want to add these two. So what I'll do is, I'll start from left-hand side, going to the right. Now, till I get to minus 5, everything is 0, right?
From minus 5 to minus 3, xt is 0, but x minus t has a value. So if I add
the two graphs, what I should get is something like that, correct?
because the top signal is 0, the bottom signal has a value. It should be like that, right? What's this value here? 1 plus? Yes, 1 plus the value here.
So at this point, I will go up until I reach minus 3. Now, if I want to find the point besides it, it's 1 plus this value, right? Because the
upper signal has a value of 1.
The lower signal, I don't know. How can I find it?
Exactly. Write the equation of that line, you will find the
value.
value.
So what I'm after is the value at this point, because it should be added to 1. Now, how can I find the equation for that line?
A slope, how can I find the slope? Tangent, yes.
Form your triangle, find the tangent. So I have a triangle, and if I consider this theta, which will be my slope, the answer will be, if I call this, I don't know, A, and if I call this B, it will be A over B. Correct?
Okay.
Which will be equal to, what's the value of A? 1. B, 5. So it will be 1/5. Now, I need to find B as well, remember? So B is the value at 0, which is equal to 1. That's correct. So my formula will be, if I say it's Y, it can be any number, is 1/5 t plus 1. Correct?
So let's check it. Put t equal to 0, it gives you 1. That's the value of it. Give t equal to minus 1, 0, which is
correct. So that represents this line. Is it clear?
Is that question?
Cool. Now, what should I do to find this value? Yes, I need to put t equal to minus 3. So y will be equal to 1 over 5 minus 3 plus 1, which will be equal to 2/5. Thank you. Now I know this is 2 over 5, right? Now I need to add 1 to it. So 1 plus, I know the next point will be somewhere here, because if this is 1 plus 2 over 5 will be 7 over 5, which is bigger than 1. So I know if that's 7 over 5, then that's my next point. Right? I jump to that point. Okay. Now, let's consider point 0. At time 0, if I add those two, what will be the answer? 2, exactly. So my next point will be 2. So it is increasing with that slope, so that will be the answer. Is this clear? No? Which part? Do you want me to start? But let me start from the beginning. Okay. So that's my xt, right? I need to find x minus t because according to this formula, I need to add them and then divide them by 2. So for now, we forget about that 2, division by 2. I only focus on adding xt plus x minus t. Right? Now, xt is simple. We just draw the signal itself at the top. X minus t, all we do is flip it. Because last week, we learned that if you put a minus sign behind t, it just reverses the time. So that's all we did. We just flip that signal, so we have x minus t. Now we need to add these two signals. Let's just start from minus 5. Minus 5 is here, right? That's minus 5. So let's only focus on minus 5 to minus 3. So from minus 5 to minus 3, here is 0. Okay? So this will be 0. This one, on the other hand, is increasing like that. So if you add those together, we should go up similar to here. But we don't know the value here. Right? We don't know the value at minus 3. We don't know how much to go up. So we need to find it. Now, this is a line. And it's similar to this line here. Okay? And that line can be written as slope times t on x-axis plus b. T is the value at t equal to 0. Now, if I have this, I can find the value x on y-axis at any time. All I have to do is replace t by a number. Like if I put t equal to 1, I know m, I know b, it gives me x. So I have all these values. All I need to do is replace t in that equation. I'll do the same here. If I find the equation for that line, red line, if I put t equal to minus 3, it gives me the value, right, on my axis. So that's what I do. I consider this triangle here. I say the slope of this line will be this divided by this. So if I call this A, and if I call this B, if I divide A by B, it gives me this slope. My A is equal to 1, B is 5, so I know slope is 1 over 5. And then B, which is the value at D0, is equal to 1. So my Y becomes 1 over 5 plus 1. That's the equation to describe that line. Now, if I want to find the value at minus 3, all I need to do is replace t by minus 3. And then it gives me the value of 2 over 5. So I know I'm sitting at 2 over 5 at this point, at t equal to minus 3. So let's check it. If I put t equal to 0, it should give me 1. That's what it does. So put t equal to 0, it gives you y equal to 1. Or let's take minus 5. Put t equal to minus 5 here. It gives you 0. That's the value. So it doesn't matter what time you put in, it gives you the value. Okay, now from minus 5 to minus 3, it was easy. I added these two because xt was 0. It's going to be similar to the bottom signal. Now, at point minus 3, at time equal to minus 3, I need to add 1 to my value, 2 over 5. Because from this point onwards, xt is going to have a value. Before minus 3, it was 0. Okay, so if I add 1, which is here, this value is 1, to 2 over 5, it gives me 7 over 5. So that point is my 7 over 5. That's my 2 over 5. Okay? And then after that, it should go up to 1. Because if you consider time 0, xt is 1, yeah, this point. And x minus t is 1 as well. So if you add them together, you should sit at number 2. Okay. What should I do about the rest? Because I've done minus 5 to 0, I need to do 0 to 5 as well, right? What should I do? Yes, I need to mirror it because we are calculating the even part, and the even part is symmetrical about y-axis. So I can be confident that the other side, that's going to be 3. Oh, that's going to be 3, and that's 5. So here I reach this point, 1. And then I go up to this point. Okay, so that's the even. Oh no, that's not the even part. Right? Divide by 2. We haven't divided it by 2 yet. So if I divide this signal by 2, what happens is I draw it up. Here. So t doesn't change because by dividing by 2, I'm only changing the amplitude or y-axis. So if it's 3, 5. Now divide everything by 2, then my maximum becomes 1. And then at point 3, that one becomes 2 over 10. So it will go like that, then goes up to 7 over 10, and then this goes to 1. Yeah? We just divide all the values by 2. And then the other side is the mirror. of this. Questions? Okay, this means that if I give you a signal, yes. No, we are finding the even part of that. So we have a signal. To prove, so you may get two questions. One is, you're given this signal, you are asked, is this even or not? So in that case, what you need to do is find x minus t, then compare it to the original signal. If they were the same, that's even. For example, I'm giving you this signal, say, is this even or odd? So what you do is you form x minus t, so if that's xt, x minus t will be the same, because it's flipped. So you say, okay, xt is equal to x minus t, this is even. That's one type. The other type is, you're given this signal, and then you're asked to find the odd and even part of it. Because every signal is made of one odd and one even part. Why am I saying this? Because let's say this is odd, this is even. The even was xt plus x minus t over 2, right? The even part was xt minus x minus t over 2, right? Now add these together, the answer will be, this cancels this, it will be 2xt over 2, which will be equal to xt. So every signal is made of one odd and one even signal. That's the formula. Okay, so that was just part A, finding the even part. Now we need to go and find the odd part as well, which is more difficult. Okay, so it is 5 minus 3, right? And that's my xt. Now, looking at the equation, say if this is odd, it's xt minus x minus t over 2. Now, there are two approaches. One is find minus x minus t. So, graphically, find this bit and then add these two together. Okay. The other approach is find xt, find x minus t, and then subtract. Both should give you similar answers. Now, personally, I prefer the second one. That's less confusing. So, yeah, we can follow the second one. So all I need to do is forget about 2 and then forget about that negative sign, minus sign. All I need to do is find x minus t, which is easy to do. What will be the answer, x minus t? Sorry? Mirror, not mirror it, flip it. Or, yeah, mirror it. No, when you say mirror it, it will be symmetrical. Okay, so, no, why should it be origin? Why should it be origin? No, I'm just talking about x minus t.
Okay, x minus t, it should be
flipped. So here I say if this is my minus 5 minus 3, if this is my 3, it will look like this, correct? Okay. And finally, what I need is xt minus x minus t, correct? So let's consider minus 5, 2 minus 3.
yes. Yeah, not necessarily. Do you know what? I'll tell you. So what I'll do is I solve it using my recommended method, and then what I'll do, I'll solve it with what you said of adding is more is easier, and then no, it's not. I'll show you.
So let's first solve it this way, and then we'll go with adding them. So let's start from minus 5 to minus 3. What I want to do is xt minus x minus t. So minus 5 to minus 3 up here is 0, right?
0 minus what I have there. How should it look like? So
You're saying this?
yes, it should be negative because we are saying 0 minus a value.
0 minus 2 will be minus 2. So it's the same but in opposite direction, like that, correct? So for example, if the value here is, I don't know, 1, at minus 4, the value is 1.
0 minus 1 will be minus 1. So everything will be
Now we'll get to the tricky point of minus 3. We already calculated this point, which was equal to 2 over 5, remember? We found the slope, and then we calculated this value to be 2 over 5. So what I have at point t equal to minus 3 is, what's the value of xt? 1. Minus 2 over 5, the answer is 3 over 5. So I'll have a sudden jump to 3 over 5, which is up here, right? Okay, now what I know is that at point 0, here and here, that's 1, that's 1. So what should be the answer? 0. So I know I should come down until I get to 0.
correct. And then this is the odd part, so it should be symmetrical
About the origin. So the other side will be something like this. So it will come down to 3 and then go up and come down again to 5, right? Symmetrical about
origin. Raising hands. Who didn't get it? Okay, I'll explain it again.
So did you get this part? How to find the
Mathematical origin of that one, correct?
Okay, so I'll continue from there. Now, what we need to do is xt minus x minus t. So we need to subtract the bottom signal from the top, correct? Now we'll start from minus 5 to minus 3. Minus 5 to minus 3, up here we have 0, minus whatever values at the bottom, right? And it has a positive value, right? Because it's, well, x-axis. Now, 0 minus the positive value will be that value with the negative sign. 0 minus 2 will be 2 with the negative sign, right? So it will be the same line, but with a negative sign. So this, if I flip this down, it's exactly this one, this line. Because I'm saying 0 minus that one, up to point minus 2. Now, at that point, the upper signal has a value, 1. So we are not saying 0 minus the value at the bottom, we should say 1. But if you are talking about this point as an example, minus 2. Here, my value is 1, and I have a value here. So it will be 1 minus, if I call this C, this value down here, minus 2, should be equal to 1 minus 6. Right? Now, the tricky part is finding this transition here. If I find this value, all I do is I jump to that value, and then because I know that here I should get 0, I'll just connect these. Now, to find that point up there, this point here, what I need is this value, because this is again 1 minus 2 over 5. That's 2 over 5 is my C. So 1 minus 2 over 5 is equal to 3 over 5. And then I'll go to 0. Yeah? Good. And then the rest is easy. Just put the other by just flipping around the origin. Okay, now let's go with the methodology of addition is easier. Let's see if it's actually easier or not. Now, if we go with the addition, what I should do is, I'm gonna solve it on this side. So if this is 5, this is minus 3 and 0. What you should do is, first find x minus t, which will be this, and then find a minus x minus t, which will be this, right? And now add them. Now the question is, we have already calculated the equation for this line. How do you know the exact question point 1? No, it will be. Now here, because you already calculated this, you don't need to find the slope here. Well, in this case, you need to check this value again here, which is going to be different. Anyway, it doesn't matter which way you go, the answer should be the same. So find the way which you think is easier for you. Okay, so push maybe some more besides this question. Okay, so quite important or something like that. Besides this, because it's an important question. Now, what you may get in the exam is something similar, but with a difference. Okay, so all you need to do is the same. Doesn't matter which shape you get, just follow these steps, right? And you should get to the correct answer. Now, what I'll do, I make up a signal. I was looking for a signal to see if we have another sample or example, which we didn't. I'm going to make up a signal. I'm going to ask you to find the odd and even parts. Now, this signal. Let's call this 4, and then I'm going to say 3. That's my signal. XT. So just find the even part, okay? Grab a piece of paper. Use this formula xt plus x minus t over 2. That's xt. Form your x minus t, add them together. See if you can find the answer, okay? And that's so that you don't think it's always 1, I'm going to put 2. A few minutes, see if you can solve this yourself, okay? If someone gets this correctly and solves this 3, well, okay? We already have the 3 here. Solve the answer last week. So she has 3 lines. There was a student in engineering systems last semester that his overall mark was 92, and I think he got around 12 bonus marks just because he could solve the question in the lecture. So take it seriously. Sorry? Sorry, minus. Doesn't matter in meaning, but mathematically, yeah, that's minus.
May I ask you,
Yes.
just have to do this?
Uh-huh. No, just did you do the counts? Minus 2, so let's see.
Because when it's 3, 0, and then I just have to go
Minus-
2 more.
Minus 4 to minus 3. That's correct.
Yeah, I just have to go up to 4.
Then you need to find that.
Do you want me to find another way?
No, that's correct. Okay, so I'm gonna make a change. Sorry. What I wanted was something different. Just wait a minute. I wanted to make it a bit complex. Okay, let me see. Okay, let's do it for this one. The previous one was That's a good practice for you to see how good you are in that. And I just made up this signal, so hopefully we'll get it. So assume that you are a lecturer, okay? Just explain it.
So difficult. I cannot explain.
No, just think. And that's the microphone.
Okay.
Don't forget your lecture.
Yeah, let me write. Okay, I just got like the mirror of the signal. This one. It's gonna be messy. I'm sorry. And now I have to find the slope, which is going to be. Oh, don't know what I've done. Yep. Okay. Slope is gonna be m. This for me, and it's the tangent, so it's minus 1/4. You can see those two, right? And the equation is going to be this one, minus 1, because of the intersection. And now I'm gonna add both of them, and then the first point is gonna be minus 4, and then I have minus 3. I have to go down to here, and this point is minus 3. I have to evaluate this point in here, which is minus 7/4, right? And then I'm gonna draw this line. This point is gonna be minus 7/4. It's easier with my iPad. And now I have to add this one, which is 4/4, and then it's gonna be minus 11/4. And then I can go up to minus 2, and that's it. That's the way I have done it.
Send me an email with your name.
Numbers are correct?
Yeah, I will check it.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
This is mine? This is yours?
No, that's mine.
Thanks.
Okay, so let's go through your friend's solution again. What I'll do is I'll just keep some parts of it because I need some space. The numbers are correct. I just want to explain it another time. So what we need is to form x minus t and then add them together. And then at the end, we need to divide them by 2. Now, for x minus t, all we need to do is flip it. So whatever is on the right goes to the left, whatever is on the left goes to the right. Now, that's the correct representation of x minus t. Now, we need to start from far left, which is minus 4, because before that everything is 0. Now from minus 4 to minus 3, I have nothing up here, so it's going to be 0. And then whatever we have is x minus t. So all I need to do is so that's minus 4, that's minus 3. All I need to do is just follow x minus t. Now, I'll get to point t equal to minus 3. At t equal to minus 3, I have a value up here, and then a value down here, which I need to find, because the value up there is minus 1. We already know that, correct? The value down there is something we need to find. Now, again, treated as a line, we have this line, correct? And that line, that's minus 4, and that's minus 1, correct? So, this is what we have here. That's the same rectangle. Now, the slope, m, is going to be, if I call this a, and if I call this b, it will be a over b. So my m is a over b, or minus 1 over, what should be the answer? Minus 4. Correct. So it's 1 over 4, the slope. So if this slope is positive, what does it tell you? It's increasing. So if I'm increasing x, my y is also increasing. For example, this has a positive slope, right? It means that if you move from left to right, as your t or x increases, your y is also increasing. Now, let's look at this line. What happens is, when you increase your x, what happens to your y?
In this case, no, it decreases. So it should be negative.
Exactly. So what you do is, when you want to write the differences, when you want to write it, you need to consider the slope as well. Because if I say is 1 over t minus 1, replace t by minus 4. What will be the answer? Minus 2. Well, it should be 0. So you need to see if you are dealing with a negative slope or a positive slope. So in this case, it should be minus 1. So it's, although the slope is 1/4, it's decreasing. So it should be minus 1/4. The reason is, we have, I'll go back here. What's tangent? No, what tangent in mathematics? Sine over cosine. Sine over cosine. Correct? Now, if I consider this value here and this value here, remember sine is always on y-axis. This is 1 and that's 1, correct? So if I'm up there, my sine will be 1. If I'm down, it will be minus 1. Now, check this, sine theta and cosine theta. Then go, this is a practice for you, for math. That's positive theta, that's negative theta, right? Go and check what's the value of sine minus theta and cosine minus theta. And then divide them by each other. See how they change. Now, what happens is that this line here has the tangent of theta. This one here has the tangent of minus theta. Now, if I go back, this was my theta. In the previous example, here, that's my theta. Do you see the difference? Because you don't consider that in your calculations. You need to see if it's increasing or decreasing. Now, here, that's why I said that's a good practice for your math, and I deliberately changed it until I can say decreasing slowly. Okay, so that's the correct representation of this line here. Now, let's get to point -3. I need to find I already have the value up here. It's -1 minus this point. Put -3 in the equation, it will be, what's the answer? Put -3 in the equation. 1/4. 1/4. Minus 1/4. So here is -1/4. All I did was I replaced t but -3. Now, what I should get to, if this is, what's the value? That's -1, right? I should go to -1/, oh sorry, I have a -1 up there. -1 minus 1/4, it will be -5/4. So I need to get to -1/4, like that. And then at point 0, my value is -2, so it will be somewhere down here. Okay, so the tricky part about this example was the slope. And then the rest is basic math. So don't get confused with that and also with the cap. Okay? Because that's not difficult unless you do the math correctly. Think about that minus positive signs. Make sure that you have put them correctly. Questions? All right.
What about the positive side?
What do you mean?
Like the right side.
The right side, we are taking care of, or we are solving it for the even part, so just mirror it. Okay? And then divide it by 2. Okay, now I'll skip second question because that's too simple. Third question, and then, so what I'll do is I'll quickly go through the third question, and then all of them are important. So probably we'll have a break, come back and continue the tutorial. The lecture is not that long, so we have time. Now, let's think about this question. We are multiplying a delta function with a signal. Now, what was delta? Delta function is actually, yes,
The impulse.
it's an impulse. The simpler definition, it comes with this and disappears. What was the application? Sampling, that's correct. So, do you see that arrow up there? If I move it anywhere, I'm taking samples. That's my sampling tool. Okay? So, I need to know the value at this point. I move my arrow onto this point. It gives me the value. Now, let's review time shifting. Remember, we said if you have xt, I don't know, let's say this is 0 to 1. What's xt minus 1?
Yeah, shifts to the
Right, because we are delaying the signal. So it will be shifted to the right. It will be 1 to 2, and then xt plus 1, you are advancing it. So it goes to the left. So what happens here at t equal to 1 second?
used to happen at the, that's why it's called delay, right? What happens at t equals 2 seconds used to happen at 1 second. And then it's the opposite. Right? What happens at t equal to 0 used to happen at t equal to 1.
So you are advancing the signal. It's the same for delta. So if I tell you that's my delta, what's delta t minus 2? It goes to the right, and that's my 2. That's how you
Move your sampling to by time shift.
Okay, what was the value of delta? 1, that's correct. So that's why it's used for sampling. Because put it somewhere, it gives you the value. Because it gets multiplied to the value. And because its own value is 1, it gives the value at that point. So if I have this delta, and if I put xt in front of it, what does it give me?
Sample of xt at t equals to 2 seconds, that's correct.
So what it does is xt can be anything. That's my xt, okay? What this delta t minus 2 times xt does is finding 2, and then we'll put that arrow, and then when it gets multiplied, it gives me the value. Right? So it gives me the value at that. Now, that's my delta. That's how I move it, left and right.
T minus 2 goes to the right, t plus 2 goes to the left. Now, look at the bottom one. It's delta t minus 2 means that I move my sampling point to the right. And then I have x t plus 3. Means that I shifted my signal as well to the left. So I'm doing two things. I'm moving my signal, I'm moving my sampling. Now,
let's find the answer. So, first, if this is delta t minus 2 will be here, right? That's 2, correct? So, forget about this. So, if I say equal to, because we don't have space there, and at the bottom it's my
x t. What will be the answer? Delta t minus 2, which is the arrow up there, times x t. Minus 2. What's x2? What's the value? Because that's sampling, right? So what it does, what you need to do is move your arrow to t equals to 2 seconds, take the sample. What's the sample? What's the value? Minus 2 ahead?
minus 6. Why minus 6? Okay, now, before getting to this, let me make it simpler for you. Let's use a simpler example. That's my delta at 2. and that's my signal. That's 0, that's 4, that's 2, and that's 1. So what delta does, if I multiply these, finds 2 seconds, sits here, and reads the value. What's the value? 1. So it reads the value here. So the answer is 1. So that's my delta t minus 2, correct? And that's my xt. Is this clear? Raising hand. Who did they get it? Well, that's wrong. So that's the tricky part of it. So see, that's correct. It's about sampling. So I'm taking sample. It means that I need a value. Now let's compare these two. If I say, let me change this to 2 so don't get confused. Let's say it's 2. So the answer will be 2, right? It's reading the value at t equal to 2, which is 2. But this, remember, we are talking about signals. And then we said, if you send a signal to a system, what comes out is still a signal. And then I told you the only difference between this unit and a unit like engineering systems is that in those units you send a number in. So assume that what your system does is multiplying everything by 2. So if you send 4 in, what comes out is 8. Number goes in, number comes out. But we are dealing with signals here. So we send the function in, what comes out should be the function of signal. So send x to the power of 2 in, what comes out is 2 times x to the power. The graph goes in, the graph comes out. So it's not about numbers. Now, let's compare these two values. What's the difference between signal y? I say my signal y is 2, and then I say my signal y is 2 delta. What's the difference? Very close. You're very close. Now tell it mathematics. Exactly. That's correct. Yeah, that's correct. So for all the time, for this one, I'm talking about this. That's t. That's my y. All the time, it's 2. Why? But when I'm talking about sampling, I need a point. That's why it's called sampling. While 2 times delta is this. Let me use another color. Oh, sorry, I said delta. If it's delta, it should sit here, right? That's 2 delta. So that's the difference. But if you want to present that yt equal to 2, it will be a line. It will not be a sample. Or when you say 2 delta, it means that you have taken a sample, and that's delta t, which shows me the location of delta, which is at point 0. And then the value is 2. That's how you're presenting. The sample you take at t equal to 0, which is value is 2. Yes?
How is the top one wrong?
Sorry? Because you are multiplying a sampling tool with a signal and you're getting a number. So you're sending a signal in, what comes out is a number. That's not correct. While at the bottom, you're sending a signal in, what comes out is a signal. So signal, which is the sample. So think about what I said.
input signal, your system is delta, right? So what you do is you send your signal, which is xt in or yt, whatever. What comes out is delta t xt. That's the correct. All right, now let's go to your tutorial question 2. Now, tutorial question 2 is delta t minus 2. So what we did was we moved it to t equals 2 seconds. Now, what we need to do is take sample, right? We need to take sample of this signal. And then the value itself is minus 2 at t equal to 2 seconds. So if you write down minus 2, that's wrong. Exactly. So you should say minus 2 delta t minus 2. Because if you say minus 2 is this. Well, if you say minus 2 delta t minus 2, that's the signal. And these two are very different. So that one's for sampling. We have just one value, minus 2 at t equals to 2. Well, the left hand side, we have minus 2 at 1. Now, again, I'll leave the second one to you. Just grab a piece of paper, find delta t minus 2 times t plus 3. Okay? 1 minute. Just solve this in a minute. That should be minus 1, yeah. So you will minus 1 delta minus 2. That's correct. Okay, so what we'll do is we first find xt plus 3, which will be shifting it to the left. So it will be something like that. So this will be minus 3 at point 0, and that will be minus 3, and that's 3. So minus 1 sits at 2, correct? So all I did was shifting it to the left by 3. And now let's find delta t minus 2. So that's delta t minus 2 if it gets multiplied by this signal. What it gives me is yes. You mean in exam? No. Yeah, if you write the answer. Writing the delta bit in. Okay. All right, this one. Do you need a break? Okay, 5 minutes.